This week on Blank Canvas, I meet Stan and Eric Saperstein, master craftsmen who forge intricate wood pieces and restore ancestral furniture. While other little boys his age were climbing tree houses, Eric Saperstein was learning to make them from his dad, Stan Saperstein. Eric took over the shop from Stan. He says there's a huge difference between buying a table from a department store versus commissioning it from an artist. So, you know, these days we have the Home Depots, the Ikeas. Long gone are the mom and pop hardware stores, the mom and pop local wood carvers. You know, so talk to me about why it's important for someone like you to preserve the trade, a trade that we really don't see around these days anymore.
We're producing the next generation of antiques. We're making the heirlooms that will be passed down. The pressboard furniture that's made that's going to fall apart, it's disposable. It's not a piece of furniture or a piece of artwork that has any longevity to it. You will never have a history to the way you have, you know, your grandmother's dining table that everybody had, you know, family dinners at for the last 75 years. Modern type pieces that are mass produced are simply not going to last long enough to have those memories.
Eric agreed to demonstrate a carving on a piece of walnut. Since it was the first pattern that he'd ever carved, it was special. Hi everybody, we are in the Artisans of the Valley carving studio with Eric Saperstein, and Eric is going to give us a little demonstration of an amazing carving and show us just a little bit of how the magic happens. Eric, go ahead and show us how you do this. What do we have here?
What we're starting with here is a ram pattern. This sets the main lines in the case of an animal, the muscle tone, and layering that's required to get the actual creature and the background.
Okay. First, a piece of wood is clamped in place. After this, a desired pattern is carbon traced onto the wood.
So this is the starting point, which gives us the main lines.
And you put this on top of the wood.
This lays down on top of the wood. There's a piece of, depending on the type of wood, this is walnut, and we're using a black tracing paper. There's different colors depending on types of wood or medium that you're using.
Ah, okay.
And it's just like any other carbon paper. You basically just run a pencil down, the pressure pushes through, and it puts the line down onto the piece.
Once the pattern is traced, its outline must be etched on the wood. This sets the elements apart. After this, larger sections of the background are removed to make the scene pop. So did you prove Dad wrong on the first go-round?
Up until the point where I couldn't get the eye right, yes. So he was still needed at that point.
He came with the I told you so, I'm sure.
Right, everything up to that point, he was quite surprised.
When you're carving?
The idea is not to. The idea is to zone out.
Clear your mind completely, huh?
You could, if you manage to look up and it's a few hours later and you're hungry and you find that you need to go to the bathroom and you realize that it's 4 hours later, then you've gotten yourself into your zone.
You're in the zone.
The eye has to be a perfect depth and a perfect angle. It's the life of the creature. If you get that wrong, you ruined your carving. So start over. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking when you're not that good at it, because it's sometimes I'll actually do that a little too early in the game just to make sure I get it right. It happens in any type of artwork or craft. We call the net result very expensive firewood.
Dad Saperstein interrupted us with a lesson on the various types of wood.
the tree grows, you'll have heartwood, which is hard and dense. And as the tree grows out, the wood is lighter. And as you get out towards the bark, they call that sapwood, and it becomes a lighter color.
Yeah, basically what you're going to do is hold the tool in your left hand. You're going to take the mallet and you're going to tap across.
Okay, here we go. Okay.
Once you get the basic hang of it...
Uh-oh. I went all off.
See, you went...
Well,
you went a little off, but you're on the outside.
Okay.
So you can just come back around and take that out.
And what do
again.
I need to just angle up a little more?
Yeah, you want to turn tighter right towards the bottom of the jaw. And you want to stop right there.
Okay.
And part of it is you'll get the hang of it. And once you get used to it, the next step is getting fast. You have to do this in a time frame that becomes profitable for the price range that you can sell the piece.
After the finer details are put in place, the next level of depth and perspective are added. The charring of the wood creates a hair-like shadow on the body of the ram. Finally, a glaze and a coat of paint is added before it's mounted as desired. Stan Saperstein learned his craft the old-fashioned way. He served as apprentice to master craftsmen for several years before he started his own shop. Stan's refined taste and sophisticated carving techniques earned him several mentions in woodcarving journals. He diligently passed on all that he's learned to son Eric, who now manages the business. One thing Stan loves is his personal collection of tools, given to him by his teacher. They now belong to Eric.
This chest is around a reproduction of a chest made by Calum Winslow, who was known as the coffin and cabinet maker to the Pilgrims. This is a Connecticut River Valley chest, is what it's called. This I did recently.
This is beautiful.
We went on a tour of Switzerland, and I bought the music box movement in Switzerland.
This is pretty. I love it. So what is this? This is pretty awesome.
This is a reproduction of Duncan Fife's first roll-top desk.
Eric was commissioned in 2001 to construct a Gothic table in honor of a slain 9/11 pilot. He may have carved hundreds of pieces, but this was his personal favorite.
Captain States was a member of a local church that one of their members happened to catch an article about us that was doing an artist profile, and they got in touch with us about this project that the church needed a credence table. Captain States was also a woodworker, and we found out a little bit about his history, and it became like the perfect project in his memory to put in place in a church that him and his family were a big part of.
When an apprentice is ready to go out on his own, the master awards him with journeyman papers. Eric got them too, from his own dad.
What this is what's called master's papers. Effectively, prior to college degrees, the trades or the guilds would pass on authentication of skills and certifications in the form of journeyman's papers at the end of an apprenticeship. So this proclaims the skill levels, and B, the transition of the shop from my father, who's taking the role as the retired master, to the next generation. And it commemorates 6 generations that this has been passed on from his teacher to him, and then to me, and along with it, hopefully comes the responsibility comes to pass it on again. So hopefully we can fulfill that.